We are rolling.
Good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. This is Midlife Crisis Activities. This is our lifestyles and pop culture webcast, our daily shout out to the world. I'm your host, Patrick Russell, and over there is my very vivacious producer, Veronica. Together, we're here to lend our voices to the noise from a multi-generational perspective to help explain everything that's right and wrong in this world. Good day to you, Veronica. You know when I get to choose a topic, I'm going to talk about my pet peeves in the world, right? And here's a big pet peeve I have. When people look at their cell phones and try to have a conversation at the same time. Now, you think of yourself as a master ninja in this regards, but you know how I feel about multitasking. It's really just a myth. Tell me, from a younger generation's perspective, do you really feel that you're participating equally in a conversation as well as Instagramming at the same time? Thoughts on that?
No, the answer is no, but I guess we're so used to doing a lot of things at the same time. And you and I went back and forth on that topic because there's no way that we can do something right if we're thinking in something else, right? So I get it. But when I'm like, when you and I are
at least not providing your full undivided attention. I don't think you can actually claim that when you're, oh, she did what?
And it's rude.
As I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, and I know it's rude, and I try not to do that, but it's just, I'm so used to, and you know that Patrick and I were sometimes eating, and I'm trying to avoid that, but I'm just so attached to my phone, and I think that's something that every teenager, younger people, face.
You started off with teenager when you're thinking of what category to put yourself in, huh?
I mean, not like
well of yourself.
Not like that, but we have a lot of social media, obviously.
I know. Part of it is your job.
It is.
Part of it is, I think, like you said, it's an addictive behavioral trait that I think we're all developing. Even walking in the parking lot, which drives me crazy. My two girls do that, and when I see that, it just sends me into an anxiety attack because, you just worry about if your attention isn't on where you are in the world can knock you out. And that's my biggest pet peeve.
Definitely. And once again, I think I invest the time in my phone the right way because we do have a business, different businesses, so we have to be constantly making sure that everything is up to date, making sure that we have the latest pictures, make sure that a lot of things happen, right? So sure. Patrick, obviously, he's a jefe. He doesn't deal with that. That's my job, and then other ones, other part of the team as well. So that's why you see me in my checking my phone all the time. So I do have an excuse. If I was in Instagram all the time, Facebook just doing or watching silly things, and then that will be another issue. But I feel that my time is well invested into the social media.
And that's fine, and that's a good point. I just want to put it out there for the world to, and for all the husbands and boyfriends out there. This is an admission of guilt. We're allowing this as a reasoning because it helps out our cause overall. It's an admission of guilt. It's an admission of the fact that when they are looking at their phone, they're not really paying attention to anything that you're saying. And so what does that usually lead to? Especially to a hypertension kind of high-speed, low-drag guy like me, it tends to be a problem because what? We end up having the same conversation sometimes, don't we? Why? Because you weren't really paying attention the first time around. What say you on that?
It is true. And
guilty as charged?
And you're putting me on the spot here, but yes, you're right. I remember having at least twice the same conversation with you because I was not paying attention to you and I was paying attention to my phone, and that's my fault. So as a Instagram
I hope that was a good Instagram post that you put up this morning.
Well, as an Instagram / social media influencer, that's a job, and I think once again I have to be more careful because I know sometimes when we're eating, especially, I don't like being on my phone, but I'm so attached to. And then Patrick sometimes he criticizes me because he's like, you're always on your phone, and I'm like, I'm doing things that are business related, right? So that's an excuse. And obviously it is an excuse.
You're characterizing my complaint just a little bit off. Now, what I'm saying is that if we're in the middle of a conversation, a discussion, or even a meeting where undivided attention is just usually commonly called for, she's a violator of that basic rule, and that's the only complaint that I have.
Remember,
not that you're at the dinner table doing your job. Not that you're at the restaurant at the table doing your job. Not that you're at the movie theater doing your job. It is a matter of when we are in a discussion, when we are in the meeting, when we are in a
like right now,
meeting
basically.
of the minds, and you have that phone surgically attached to your arm and surgically placed at a position, a 45-degree angle to your eyes so that you can read or post what's going on. And I'm just telling you, multitasking has always been something of a myth in my mind. And reading up on it, Googling it, I think you'll probably find out that I'm right. Although your mind can bounce back and forth microsecond fast-wise, it is not in any way truly simultaneously processing two basic packs of data, right? And so if you are splitting your attention, usually one suffers. Who's the bit of information that typically suffers the most in that exchange?
And
you already know the answer to that.
And just to be clear, I mean, I do give you you're right. You're right in everything that you just said. Once again, like he likes to say it. But and then also, you know what I noticed that when I was in college taking online classes, it was an issue for me because I couldn't concentrate. Like I had my phone here and then the online classes.
Attention deficit disorder. I think we're raising a generation of children that will all pretty much meet the ADD measure.
And you know what? My niece actually, just to kind of close the webcast, my niece was telling me that she's doing online classes and she's like, I know I'm going to fail. Not because she doesn't know, not because she doesn't put the time, but there's people that we have to recognize that they need to be in front of something, making sure that their attention is there. Right. And I'm not like that. I have to be, I mean, I'm not an online to study, right?
Oh,
maybe
no.
other
That's
things,
a completely different webcast, and we'll discuss.
We're going to come back to that tomorrow.
Absolutely. There's a generation of kids right now that are falling behind, let's face it, in the inner city, because emotionally they're just maybe not prepared enough to handle being in a remote setting almost exclusively all the time.
I don't know if you see some videos, but there's actually some, and then another thing, there's some teachers that require you to be in front of the camera so you cannot really cover the screen, right? Like the camera of your laptop. And there's other ones that let you do whatever, I guess, you want. So they have cut off students sleeping and then just having, their audio close and then their laptop as well. And absolutely. I mean, it's just insane.
Absolutely. Yeah. Final note. According to NBC News, fatality rate for pedestrians, cell phone related, is around 7,000 people a year. And to me, that's just people like my kids that like to walk in a busy parking lot of a mall with their eyes not on what's around them, but what's on their phone. So guys, please do yourself a favor. Get to where you're going safely before you pull out the phone, right? Final note? All right, guys, please don't just subscribe to this channel, even though we will be doing this back and forth, showing you what a power couple thinks about on a day-to-day basis. But please, lend your voices to the show. It'll make it a whole lot more fun. Guys, it doesn't matter what comes your way today. It doesn't matter what challenges or obstacles you may face. You just need to remember one thing.
Give him hell.
Have a great day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.